Hey everybody, I'm John and this is Blind Whiskey Reviews. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, the most honest reviews on YouTube. Today we're doing another of our No Time Like the Present reviews where I do a non-blind review of a whiskey, give you my thoughts and let you know what I think of it before we get to the blind review later down the line. Today I'm bringing you a special one. I always want to strive to bring you guys the latest and greatest on stuff that's coming out so you can kind of do your decision, help you with your decision making if you do happen to find this stuff in the store. All three of these whiskeys were provided me by the distillery, and these are all coming from Broken Barrel, which was formerly known as Infused Spirits. And I've done a review of one of their bourbons. I'll link that up here so you can check that out if you like. But this is a very limited edition run that they did. All three are whiskey blends that they did what they always do with their whiskeys, which is they source the whiskey, they take it, they age it on different types of oak staves to kind of add some more complexity to it, then bottle it and give it to us. So these are three different unique blends. It's a very limited run. I believe there's only 1,100 bottles of each of these whiskeys. Their distribution goes to about 30 states, so I'm not sure how many of these whiskeys are making it to each state, but hopefully if you get the chance, you'll be able to take my notes, and if you see one and come across it, you'll be able to make your decision on purchasing it. But anyways, all three of these were done like I said, a similar way. They put the broken oak staves into the whiskey to age and add some more complexity. Today we're going to look at this one, which is the Cask of Amontillado. It's bottled at 110 proof, and let me tell you a little bit about it. I've got in this pamphlet here. It's a blend of 12-year-old and 5-year-old whiskeys. Its mash bill is 95% Indiana corn and 5% malted barley, and it's finished with Amontillado barrel staves. Like I said, bottled at 110 proof. So I'm excited to get into this one. Wanted to start with this one because it feels like it's probably the most in my wheelhouse as far as the whiskeys go, and I'll definitely be reviewing the other two shortly. So let's get this guy cracked open. I always like when they put the little pull tab. That way you don't look like a dope when you're trying to open it. It takes you forever to get it open. Nice pop. Got a synthetic cork, which I'm not mad at. Smells pretty decent so far. And one thing I do have to say for these whiskeys, and I will try to put a picture on the screen because you're not going to be able to see it from here, but they did a great job with the labeling and the bottling and the artwork on the bottle. I'll show it to you here anyways, but just beautiful artwork on all these bottles, so hats off to them for that. It's super cool, and it's super cool on especially such a limited run, so hopefully they keep doing these. So, right off the bat, you're getting big like wine-like notes. I don't even know what Amontillado is. I probably should have looked that up, but it smells very much like sherry. Big sherry notes. Definitely get a little bit of that like kind of bourbon-y character hiding behind it. I'm sure this is definitely a whiskey that's going to need to open up a little bit, so we'll definitely give it a little bit of time to do that. But yeah, definitely those big wine fruity notes. Big vanilla. And you've got some of your standard bourbon characters back there. A little bit of brown sugar, caramel. Those notes are definitely playing second fiddle to like these big fruity characters though. And a lot of vanilla too. Smells really good. Color, it's almost got more of like a brownish hue to it. It's not got that like orangish amber color. It's more of a, like into that like, not necessarily the darkness of mahogany, but like the color of mahogany, the tint of mahogany. Well, it smells good. I can't wait to get into the taste. Cheers. Yeah, the first thing that hits you is just this big fruity note. I mean, big red fruits. I need to take another taste. Hold on. Yeah. Big like strawberry, raspberry, vanilla. Mid palate kind of goes into this almost like citrusy quality. Back of the palate definitely stays vanilla, some woody oaky notes. So far, so good. Yeah, the front really just reminds you of like a fruity candy, like a red licorice. The back end, it's a little sweet on the front. The back end definitely balances out with some of those oaks and tannic notes. So far, so good. I'm liking what's here. I'm hoping it'll open up a little bit. I think there's really some more flavors buried in here that this whiskey probably needs a little bit of time to air out. So as we always do in these reviews, we're going to give it about 20-25 minutes to sit in the glass, just get a little bit of time to open up, see if we can get some more coke, some more characters out of this whiskey. So we'll be back with that in a second. All right, so we are back. The whiskey's been sitting in the glass for about 20 minutes, giving it a little bit of time to open up. And actually, while we were taking the 20 minutes, I took the opportunity to look up what Amontillado is, and it's sherry. So it makes sense now why it smells just like sherry, because it is. So let's see if this is opened up anymore. I mean, if anything, it's just gotten more bold with these fruity notes. I mean, they're just so strong and robust. If you do not like finished whiskeys, you will not like this. I won't say it tastes exactly the same, but there's similarities like Joseph Magnus. And I mean, again, these guys are sourcing from MGP, finishing with some sherry cask stuff. So similar things to what like Joseph Magnus is doing. So I could see why there'd be some type of similarity there. Two very different whiskeys, but I mean, down that same path. I love that smell. I love the smell of sherry. I think it smells fantastic. It might have even sweetened up a little bit since it's been opening up. It was always a little sweet up front. That sweetness is kind of carrying back a little bit more. It's very candy-like up front in a good way. It's got this really nice, just sweet, fruity character that really kind of reminds me of some like a candy that I can't put my finger on, but like a licorice candy. And like I said, mid-palate, you're still getting that big pop of vanilla. In the back, it dries out just a touch, which is perfect. So you're not getting too much of that sweetness going all the way through. And you're getting your kind of oak tannins. You're getting that kind of leathery quality. For 110 proof, I don't think it drinks exceptionally hot. Pretty smooth all the way through. I don't think I would, if I was doing this blind, I don't think I would guess it was 110 proof. I mean, I feel like I'd tell you it's 100, maybe 105. So it definitely drinks a little bit under in terms of the smoothness and the heat and intensity of that on the palate. Definitely doesn't feel like 110, so that's good. I think it's a very solid release from these guys. It's nice that they were able to get some older whiskeys in here with the 12-year-old in this particular release. One thing on their bourbon that I reviewed was, I mean, it did taste like a young bourbon. There was no hiding that. They just did a very good job of adding other flavors to that. And in this case, they were able to use some old whiskey. So they did a great job of adding, these sherry characters to this whiskey. And even to the younger, I would doubt that the 12-year-old, it's heavy on the 12-year-old whiskey. I'm sure the 5-year-old is most of what's in here. But they've just done a good job of blending, as they did in their last whiskey that I reviewed. So I think these guys, or whoever's doing their blending for them, has got a pretty good nose and palate for this stuff, because they do a pretty good job of balancing these whiskeys out. I'm really excited to try these other two. Just so you know what the other two are, so you can kind of, these will be coming probably in the next few weeks here. But the other one they've got is here, which is the Mizunara barrel, where they have aged the whiskey with virgin Mizunara oak staves and bottled it at 100 proof. But they did it, what's unique about it is obviously, Japanese whiskeys use Mizunara oak, but they've done it and they've aged an American whiskey with Mizunara oak. So that's kind of a unique twist on it. I don't think I've seen anything like that before. This one is called the Isle of Peat, which is a little bit scary for me. They've also, again, taken American whiskey. They have an Indiana malted barley and an Indiana wheat whiskey, and they finished it with Islay Scotch barrel staves and bottled it at 110 proof. So, you guys know me. I'm not very good with the peated smoky whiskeys. I just don't have the palate for it quite yet. So I'm a little bit scared of this one, but I'm excited to try it. As long as it's not blowing me out with the peat, I think we'll be good. So anyways, for a score on this whiskey, really, I think it's very solid. I'm gonna give it an 87. I think it is a very good whiskey. I would love to see what happens once it has some time to open up. I think that's really gonna help it improve and maybe knock it up a point or two. I would say I could use a slight bit more complexity to it. So it stays kind of in a vein of flavors. And I would love to see it expand out and be, I would like it to be a little bit more rich perhaps. And so I think a little bit of airtime might do that for it. So I'm excited to see what this thing does after being open for a couple of months. So I'm going to be excited to come back to it. But anyways, I think it's a very good whiskey. And I believe they told me these are retailing around $55 or so. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the price they're going for. So a very solid price for a 110 proof whiskey, somewhere close to barrel proof. It's at 110 proof and done with some additional aging with sherry oak stave. So pretty good value for something like that. You know, you take a comparative whiskey, which is something like Joseph Magnus, which is bottled at a similar proof, aged in sherry casks from whiskey from MGP, which is probably, I would imagine the average age is maybe a little bit older, but still. And those whiskeys go for about $100. So value-wise, this one's sounding pretty good to me. And their other whiskey, their bourbon was also, again, a sourced whiskey aged in other staves, and it's out somewhere in like the high $20 range. So these guys are doing something good. I like what they're doing. They're even though they're sourcing product and that's their business model, they're doing their own twist on it by putting it with different oak staves, and they're putting it out at a reasonable price. So you really can't ask for much more. So if you guys have had the opportunity to try any of the infused spirits or broken barrel products, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys see these out and about and pick them up, let me know what you think of them. I'd really like to hear your thoughts. So that's that. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. I definitely recommend picking this one up if you see it out there at that MSRP, because it's definitely a tasty whiskey. So just don't do it if you don't like finished whiskeys and you don't like sherry, because you won't like this. But it's definitely a solid pour. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can also catch me on Instagram at Mission Bottle Kill, where I'm posting all kinds of pictures of people emptying out great bottles of whiskey. And if you'd like me to repost your bottle kill, just tag at Mission Bottle Kill in the post. And you can send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews, that's whiskey with an E, at gmail.com. And until next time, cheers.